if they're women, they grow armpit hair. I don't remember clowns doing that back. Give me the old white face makeup, man.
That's right.
Couple rosy cheeks, you know?
Something with a little bit of a mime influence.
Yeah. Like those guys that helped out Dumbo. They were cool. Did they help him out, or they kind of fuck with him? They were so fuck clowns in general.
Yeah. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about
Where do I stare?
You can look at me, or you can look at the camera. Like, you can look at either
I
of
work
the two.
between these two?
Yeah.
Right,
so when you want to talk to the audience, you look at the camera.
Be like, my name's Mauricio. Is that it?
And?
My name's Mauricio, and I'm a crazy guy that speaks on a microphone, and sometimes they laugh.
Nice. How long have you been making people laugh?
16 years.
16 years? How did you get started?
Well, I made them mad for like, I want to say 10 years.
Aren't you still making them mad?
Hell yeah, but before I had no punchlines. And I thought I was the genius in my head, you know?
Nice. Well, we all thought you were genius.
Yeah, and then getting banned from certain mics, yeah?
So tell me about, let's go back to like the beginning. Like, so were you born here in Seattle?
No, I'm from Mexicali, Mexico, and Portland, Oregon. So I was born in Mexicali, Mexico, and then I was smuggled illegally to Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
And then after high school, I ran all the way up to Seattle to get that whole big city, let's figure myself out phase, you know?
Oops.
So I like calling Mexicali, Mexico was my Mexican father had abandoned me.
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon was like my evil Mexican stepfather. He just treated me really bad.
Yeah.
And Seattle was like my white adopted father that was like, Mauricio, look, this is a mocha, you know? This is a book.
This is a triple mocha.
Yeah, and this is a hug. You know?
A half cap.
Yeah. So Seattle's my white adopted father.
Nice.
Yeah,
No mothers?
named after a Native American.
No mothers?
Huh? Oh, just one. Halsies.
Explain.
Well, yeah, I got my mother. I mean, me and her have the classic story of like mother and son immigrants coming into America. But she also has the energy where she feels more like a sister than a mother as well, on top of it. You know?
So did you both come to America together?
Yeah. My mother would tell me that when we were in Mexico, she would stand right there and said that like I have to somehow raise Mauricio over that side of the border in the U.S. side. So yeah, we had the whole 9 yards. She set up the smuggling thing, and that was it. And then we came to Portland because she had her uncle living in California, and through the high school that she went there, when she was living with him, a friend moved to Portland and just kept in touch and said you should come up here.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long after you came to the United States, or were you doing comedy in Mexico?
No.
It's
been all English.
How old were you when you came to America?
I was like, I want to say like 6.
Oh, okay, yeah. So how did you, tell me about the first time you started to do comedy, like what was it that inspired you?
I mean,
what was
the
it
first
that got
time
you
was like the
started?
club level. That's the one thing that really stands out. Anything before that was just, I don't know, little thing at a bookstore or something, you know?
Yeah.
The
Or the
club
fair
level
gallery.
was where it felt real. Like that was in 2005, and that started at Giggles Comedy Club in the U District.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see. I first saw you at the Fair Gallery.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And instantly loved your comedy. Tell me a little bit about what are some of the themes that you deal with?
My themes is like I like seeing this like it's my themes that I attack is like an aspect of like realism with fairy tale. Like I like telling people that I'm shooting for like George Carlin plus Richard Pryor with a Mickey Mouse candy coating. That is my style.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's interesting. I tend to think of. So, do you think there's like a pop edge to your work, or there's a kind
Pop
of a
edge, like in what way?
referring to pop culture, referring to like you said.
Yeah, I like using
candy coating.
I do love using pop references to bring everybody universally in the room to one level. You know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's
So
see.
if I have a murder joke, which I usually do,
Yeah.
like I better get the whole room behind what I just said.
Exactly. You use the candy coating to sort of like get the deeper.
And I've had people
messages
who are
across.
not violent at all go like, "Wow, he does make sense. I would murder Donald Trump right now if I had the chance." You know?
Tell us a joke about murder, if you don't mind.
Well, it's like one of my new jokes that I wrote is about how like if Donald Trump wins, like right now everyone's complaining about all the shootings, right? if you let Donald Trump win, you cannot complain about a single terrorist attack that's coming afterwards, you know? You have it coming. America, you know? Nice. It's like, I'm fucking Mexican. Like, if Donald Trump wins, they're like, oh, violence isn't the answer. Well, I'm not going to fucking go into an attic and write, like, the diary of Mauricio, you know? I'm going to fucking murder him. That's it, you know?
How do you feel about the fact that he wants to build a wall?
Well, I mean, I saw one of the greatest memes ever. They're like, you can build a wall, but we're building fucking tunnels.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. We're getting into America in many ways, you know?
By hook or by crook, or water, or tunnels, or yeah. So let me see. So what is the current scene, the current comedy scene in Seattle like? You know what?
Current comedy scene in Seattle, there really is no comedy scene.
Yeah.
Here's a really great place to like find your voice, originality, or doing it your way. But this is a music scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't a historical comedy scene by any means. So it's like, I think what I love about it is that because of it, everything hits so much harder, and it hits how people don't know how to register it. So I call it resistance training being in Seattle. So it's like if I make one person laugh, and it took me a long time to understand the Seattle mindset, that when I went to any other city that had a history with comedy, it was just that easy.
Huh.
Yeah.
So like you said, it's like a training ground. It's
like a training ground. It's literally like, look how small I am. It's like benching a couple hundred when I know I can't do it, you know?
So do you think that Seattle has a harder time laughing, or what do you think?
Seattle's not used to it, Comedy's not everywhere. Like when I was in San Francisco, like comedy's everywhere. It outdoes every other art form. Here it's music. It outdoes every other art form. You know? So I think they're just not used to it, And then B, I think this year, this new Seattle is actually PC. I don't think it was back in the day. I think right now it's PC.
So you think it's gotten more conservative?
Oh yeah, to a certain degree, and I think a lot of it is people. What I've gathered is people that are most likely transplants that aren't from here. Yeah. That they went through some bullshit, like I don't know, like say in Chicago, something happened to them. Yeah. So they bring that energy over here, and now they won't have it, you know.
So I think you mentioned a while back that you took a trip to Los Angeles and did some comedy in Los Angeles. Tell me about that. How did that go?
It was good, man. I mean, they were shocked. Like they're not used to the way I tell jokes. You know, like I don't know, you have assholes still talking about like the grocery stores or something. You know, I went through a grocery store, man. Don't you hate people in line? One of my jokes was like, I wish I could kidnap a celebrity right now to be famous. Like.
That would be one way of doing it.
Yeah, that was my material on stage, you know?
Nice.
Threatening celebrities. And it's like, or, you know, just the brash humor of like, just really, you know, like going away from whatever vague LA thing it has, you know? Like, I was definitely the offshoot at that. So it's like I stood out like a sore thumb. So it was a great experience. When I went, I wasn't ready. Yeah. Taught me a lot, though, a lot about polishing and getting better. Yeah.
So I remember asking you about doing an interview a long time ago, and you were saying, wait until I've got 30 minutes, was it? You know, like a 30-minute set. So tell me about like the process that a comedian goes through to sort of build up their body of work, to build up the things that their toolkit, basically. You know, what are some of the important things important steps that you took to get to where you are now, and you know, how has that changed over time?
Well, the steps like I used to take, the one thing that I really got thinking about this, the first steps that I took was bombing at first and getting yelled at by a club owner.
And by bombing, so bombing for like graffiti is like means like hitting like a big place, but you mean like literally
sucking on stage. Yeah.
Nice,
and having the club owner tell you to get the hell out of his place and never come back again. And you're ready to go home and cry, and you thought it was not going to be that way at all. Yeah. So yeah, it took like sucking for like the first half of the first year. Then by the second half, I would get like at least 5 minutes of funny jokes. And 5 minutes because I have stage presence, so it's like they're funny, but they're not there yet. But 5 minutes. And in my head, you think that you're progressing, like you're on track, you're moving really fast. Yeah. And then the second step is having all that being burned to a crisp that you don't even find yourself funny, which I call the dramatic sophomore year, where most people quit. Right. And you're just in question, you're bombing in places that you weren't used to bombing. And you gotta check yourself, like, what is it that makes you doing this? Then the third thing is, the third step was finally after like 5 solid years after the club level, is that like you figured out what is your funny? What is your style of funny? You can write it, but then you have another breakdown where it doesn't work because what is the philosophy of your stand-up? What's the deeper end? So that's the fourth step. And then once you survive all that, in 15 years, that last final year, you're like, oh, I know myself, I know this. The process now is I just write a joke, practice it 2 times, and it's ready to go by the end of on the 3rd day.
Nice. So it kind of sounds like it's a trial by fire almost. Sounds like it's like this real kind of, like you put your balls out there, and you really like, you know, you have these people and they're ready to trounce you if you bomb and or to like, you know.
It's a lot of getting threats. I hate to admit that white rapper guy, right? Eminem, as you call him.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, Eminem, as you call him. I've been booed off and kicked off stage, but I kept grinding.
You talked about a philosophy.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that, so I'm not the biggest fan of stand-up comedy in general, but I've always really liked your work. Which I don't know if that's a good thing,
well, I
or
mean,
if that's, I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing.
Makes my ego go 3 notches. I already talk about myself a lot.
But well, let's talk about you. This is what this is about. We want to talk about you. We want to learn about you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about what is your philosophy? What is the Mauricio comedic philosophy? Like, what are you doing with your comedy? What makes you run?
All right. Well, obviously there's the basics of just get funny, right? And maybe like people like Pryor and George Carlin, Woody Allen, Steve Martin, those guys really became big influences, right?
Yeah.
But with my personal philosophy, the touch that I really needed was when I started getting into French poetry.
Yeah.
French poetry was it. That was the like where I could build my own philosophy. That would be the root of it.
Like
I read a lot of,
or like what are we talking about?
We're talking like, you know, on a basic level, like Rimbaud.
Yeah.
And then I've been.
That's who I actually met, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I've there's some other guys I still don't memorize their names, and then I was reading a ton of graphic novels, French graphic novels.
Yeah.
And they all shared a common theme of the loss of conviction.
Nice.
No conviction. And then when I threw George's Fado, the king of farce. Like just like this crazy random silliness when they think it's serious, but it's not serious at the same time. That's the root of my stand-up.
Nice.
Like it may get serious, but at the same time I'll be like, I don't know, you know, like I dropped the conviction, you know.
The farcical nature of reality. Like, what does this all mean? What is it?
Yeah, it's
what
like
does
all
it all
right,
matter?
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like I like the my philosophical age-old question is like, how would you feel? Like I like when someone's like, if the apocalypse comes, like what are you gonna do to survive? I'm like, I don't know. I'd probably just put barbecue sauce on my body and just let the animals eat me, you know?
Nice.
So like that,
The zombies can get to work.
I'm like, all right, so I guess we're going through an apocalypse. All right, I guess I'm dying. Ooh. I guess I'm going to go hang out with Tupac at Thug Mansion, because that's what he promised, you know?
Nice.
Where the
nice.
bitches are fine and the 40s are always cold. So in there, and the way I just talk, that's where my stand-up, the main,
Nice.
or depressed for
Nice.
6 years.
For 6 years? From acid? Or
Well, I
from,
mean, I've been
from
depressed. I know, looking back, because I felt emptiness when I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it, like, you know, these last 6 years was like the biggest test of like how sad I was feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, so I've met a lot of comedians, and so it seems to me like magicians are very, very sad about the fact that there really is ultimately no magic.
Oh, wow.
It seems to
Man,
me
they
like,
gotta get over that shit.
but I mean, I think this is like the different kinds of people that go into these things, and it seems to me like a lot of comedians that I know are actually quite depressed or unhappy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Even though they're making like the whole world laugh, that at the same time there's like this inner kind of pain that goes on in a lot of comedians.
Comedians are the most tortured. Like I always like saying that I'm a rare entity in stand-up. I'm one of them. Like the fact that I have as many friends as I do, like the confidence, the flow of conversations like this.
Yeah.
Most comedians I met, the majority are like these quiet, sad.
See that
depressed
clowns are
individuals.
angry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Comedians not so much angry.
I've not had my fair run-ins with clowns, but I guess they seem fucked up.
I've met a few.
I have walked by Clowntown and Georgetown, and me and my friend were like, fuck this, we're not going in. Hey, go get lives, clowns.
Fuck the clowns.
Yeah, not the French ones. They're pretty artistic, but you American ones, you know you're scumbags.
It's definitely the American clowns. Yes, you're absolutely right about that.
And the ones that are creepy on the box of ice cream cones.
And ice cream cones?
Yeah, you know, like the ice cream cones you buy a package, like at the
The ones that
store?
are in the box?
Yeah, there'll be like a picture of a creepy ass clown
Yeah.
next to it.
Yeah. seems to
I
be.
pissed off some clowns too. There's like the new hipster clowns. I guess they have a school in Bellingham. And I got a ride from one of them in Craigslist before the Bolt bus. Yeah, so there's clowns. There's like indie clowns that train in Bellingham. And I pissed two of them off. Like, well, what do you do? I was like, well, I'm actually funny and get paid sometimes on stage to.
You said this or they
Yeah,
said
I
this?
said that. Yeah,
You
to
said
be
that?
funny, you know. I was like, do you juggle? I was like, well, I'm not that kind of clown, Mauricio. My clowning is a little more deeper than that. I'm like, who the fuck's?
I'm a subtle clown, okay?
Yeah, if you're a clown, like you better know juggling. Like, come on, dude, I should make a shirt that's like clown killer. Oh man,
Clown killer.
I'm more of a fan of mimes, anyways. Huh?
So you like the French thing?
Yeah, man. I
like
like
Jerry
somehow the
Lewis?
French get me, huh?
Do you like Jerry Lewis?
Oh yeah. And this one here, like, man, Mauricio really hates clowns.
Yeah, it'll be
That's
like.
a commercial. Like, you know.
So, how about something a little bit more?
I love how I make you laugh, though. Do you appreciate that?
No, you always make me laugh.
All right. We had to cut out that last joke. Because Xavier's scared of being real.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly right. Xavier Lopez is definitely scared of being.
All right, fine. Here, you want something I've been working on? Like, I really can't stand that we're in the age of like the privileged tech nerd age, right? I can't stand these guys.
Yeah.
Gentrification's a thing, you know?
Yeah.
I really think a lot of it is like poor people and rich people, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing that I can't stand right now, though, is minority neighborhoods are going away. Minority neighborhoods are going away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So every
Oh, yeah.
minority friend's like, Mauricio, they're kicking us out of our neighborhood. I don't know what to do, man. What do we do? I was like, do more crime.
Explain.
Yeah, like you, do more heroin. You, more crack. Me and you, we're gonna rob this guy on a single wheel Segway with a ski mask. And trust me, they won't move in.
That's a good point.
You realize that these rich tech guys started moving in once we tore down the Taco Bell and we like let the heroin addicts behind that Taco Bell
Oh
go?
yeah. Oh yeah. That's all
Yeah.
part of the whole gentrification. Yeah.
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 Those heroin addicts were heroes.
We'll make that.
See, like if Robin Hood was alive in today's time, he would do heroin for the poor to keep the rents down.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
He wouldn't be so successful stealing from the rich because they have guns now. And missiles.
So let's go back to a little bit of Trump and tell me a little bit about like what you think. What you think of that guy?
I think he's one of the worst things to ever happen. I really think that America is proving to me how stupid it is. Like,
Yeah.
my people are rapists. It's kind of hard to like them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently I'm a rapist to his eyes, you know?
No, I think you're one of the smart ones.
Okay, but he when he views me, he sees rapists,
Yes.
you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
And me
sees
too.
that I
yeah.
have cocaine on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's it. I was like, I don't understand. Like, I really can't stand this guy. Like, I personally think that, like, this is where America is stupid and Mexico's smarter. Is that where I'm from in Mexico, in the border area, more specific, if you're a dick, somebody's a dick, you 86 them from the bar. You still have to see them out on the street.
Right.
In the border town in Mexico, like Juarez, you just kill him. Maybe kidnap his family. That's it. You know, make a couple bucks off
A
of
couple
it,
of
you know?
bucks. Yeah.
You know, like he's right there.
Right,
Like he's
exactly.
right there. You're letting him talk all this trash, right? And the one thing I hate is that he says that my people are rapists when his hair looks like rape. That's a rapist hairstyle, man.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
look at any rapist hairstyle online right now. They look like Donald
What does the
Trump's
future
hair.
look like for Mauricio? What are you working on? What are some of your projects?
Projects?
Like tonight, you've got. don't you
Yeah,
have
well,
like a-
tonight I practice every Wednesday at Blue Moon Tavern. That's like my other home away from home.
Nice.
And on top of it too, I just took over the comedy open mic at Redwood every Sunday, so I'm very excited about that.
At the Redwood, nice.
Yeah, it's a part of this series that I call the Bomb Shelter because I want young comedians to understand the metaphor of the bomb shelter. That it's gritty. You're fighting to survive. Like that's how real comedians build from open mics like that to test you. You know.
Nice.
So there's already a bomb shelter in the Mission District, and this is going to be the second one on Capitol Hill.
So are you doing a lot of stuff to help
I think
young
that there just
comedians?
needs to be like the actual that element of like the grind, you know? Kind of like when an athlete goes to the gym. That's probably not his most glamorous time. That is literally work.
Right.
And his most glamorous time is when the game is on or when the boxing match is on. That's what I want the bomb shelters to be. That's a place where comedians come and do extra time and get ready for whatever they have going. You know?
Because it seems to me like the critique that you guys get is directly from the people. It's directly from an audience. It's directly from like on the spot Seems like the
Well, we're always
critique is
criticized.
super
Critique
real.
is everything, but I mean, it means more when it comes from like within the stand-up world. There's certain aspects to it where you grow from it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you feel like you get more of a sense of what you're doing as a comedian from your peers, or do you get more of a sense of what you're doing from like the audience?
Well, I get a sense from what I'm doing. Me personally, myself, other comedians, it's like there's only certain few that I talk to about comedy now. Like that's it. We just have an inner circle. Audience, definitely. You always have to be aware of how your relationship is with the audience. It's like a marriage. The biggest thing with stand-up, man, is that we're the marathon. We're not like every other art form where you can like say like you're a painter, right? I'm assuming that most likely you paint every day, but your show is like that one show and then it stays up, right? And then you could just go home, sleep, a little things like that, right?
Sure. Let's say that's the case.
Yeah. For me, stand-up, I have to be up on a mic every single night. If I'm not up performing for at least four nights out of the week, I can't do it. I start mumbling. I lose it. Yeah. Every comedian has said that.
So what kind of set are you going to work on tonight?
Well, I got a ton of jokes. I've been on this kick where I've been 22 days sober. So I have a lot of jokes. I've been on like this on the road Jack Kerouac journey that was like for 6 years in search of myself after having a nervous breakdown. Complete breakdown,
Yeah.
The first step of that breakdown was like just getting my identity back and things like that after a situation where I threw my possessions in the street.
Yeah.
And then the second part was on the road, going as a vagabond in search of myself. So it's like, right now I'm talking about like all the abusing, the drinking wine bottles and dancing on the hood of a car, like that's what I've been exploring right now on stage. Good talk. There's a reason why Batman wanted to beat the shit out of the Joker.
Out of the Joker.
Let's just remember that,
That's right.
I didn't.